Good morning, YouTube. All right, we've got the Gamer King, aka Dogfish, according to one guy who's severely disappointed. However, he got the SATA version and he didn't like it, apparently. And they also have this version too. And of course, this was for my MacBook Pro, early 2015. Works in a lot of MacBooks actually, which is crazy. Anyways, this is my second drive because my first one, well, I kind of botched up on ordering it and it was a millimeter too long. However, that's raised some suspicions on me too because something about that doesn't make sense, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about this disaster waiting to happen at a theater near you. Okay, so don't buy this thing. It's actually garbage. I know there's a lot of happy people. It's only been 95 ratings, but how many of those are actually fake, I wonder? Because we all know that does happen quite often where the boss gets the employees to put up a bunch of fake BS reviews, etc., just to kind of push a product out. So that does happen quite often on Amazon. Never mind the paid bot reviews where people have sold their soul to a company all in the name of a free product. Because it happens a lot, even on YouTube. Yes, it does. We know that. So thankful I can't be bought. But anyways, so when it comes to this, though, I got it. I installed it. It fits perfect. Even came with pre-installed High Sierra on it. Because you require for any of these Apple-specific drives that your computer has to have had its last OS on its drive, being a minimum of whatever they call for. In this case, High Sierra. And otherwise, your computer can't recognize or format the drive. So, because every time you get a major OS update, there's always a firmware update with that too. So, it's part of the thing, right? Anywho, so this thing has a realistic speed rating, they say, of up to 2450 read and a write speed of up to 1850 on the right side. Well, I wasn't seeing, well, I actually saw about 1,000 and change on the right initially, and on the read side about 12 to 14. And this lasted for a couple minutes and it started to really start to lose. And I thought, okay, well, it's still not that bad. But the thing is, it is specific to the Mac, so the bus should be able to move it, right? You would think, at least much better than that. I would have been happy at 2,000 by 1,200, but we didn't even get anywhere close to those numbers. However, that was fine, so we threw Boot Camp on this thing because it does support it, which is fine, because I needed this to run both Mac OS and Windows. So, and anyhow, day 2 came around and things got a little weird. My thermals got really hot, even on boot up. And it's like, yeah, that's new. Let's check and see what's going on with the drive. Let's speed test it. And the numbers went to about hard drive speeds. And that's pretty sluggy, as we all know. The idea is SSD is supposed to be faster, not slower. And so I thought, all right, well, let's try a 1 gigabyte load. No, that didn't work. Okay, let's crank the fan up to 4,000 RPM and bring our thermals back under control because it was going mental. Like we were pushing like 100 on boot up, and it was like, this drive is doing something to my computer. And I repasted my processor as a precautionary as well, thinking, well, maybe the thermal paste wore out just all of a sudden, right? Like that never happens. But hey, you got to try, right? Well, that didn't really help either. So I'm like, all right, there's something wrong with this thing. So I tried to launch Google Chrome, a browser of all things. Yeah, 3 minutes later, and it still wasn't even up to a window. This has got a problem here. So, yeah, let's just say don't buy this drive because it might not work out for you. The guy that got the MSATA version, he also had mentioned that it would seem that these appear to be dogfish. And And it's like, well, okay, well, whatever. Dogfish, dogfish, sharkfish, I don't care, whatever. But you got to watch some of these off-branded drives, we'll say, apparently, a lot closer. Thing is, who wants to pay Apple's blood money? And besides, does Apple even have these for 2015s anymore? Probably not. And these work in even 2013s. So, yeah. Anyways, and I can't handle a 128 gig in a MacBook Pro. It's just not a happening thing. Especially when you get Monterey on there, GarageBand, do the updates. There goes all your drive space. And forget Windows on 128 gigs. Not a happening thing. So, but 512 I can deal with for what I was going to use this thing for. So anyways, it did get sent back. It is the second drive in a row. Actually, my first one I ordered, that was my bad. I probably should have read closer. But then I start to look at, wait a second. These things should also work with a mid-2015, you would think. But then again, this one says early 2015. Doesn't mention anything about the mid 2015, 2014. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Mid 2015. So I don't know why the other drive I had didn't actually fit, other than it was a millimeter too long. So improperly made drive, perhaps. Might have been a better drive, because it was actually, this one was the first one I ordered that didn't fit. Now on here they say mid 2013, 2017, MacBook Pro Retina late 2013, mid 2015, but it doesn't say anything about early. And that was kind of my bad. I thought, well, okay, so let's read down here. Wide compatibility. MacBook Air, MacBook Pro from 2013 to 2015, but it doesn't say early or late there. Up top it does. But it's like, but it was a millimeter too long. So I guess these guys did some kind of specifica. I don't know. I mean, I don't see Apple changing between mid and early, like for a millimeter, like seriously. And then I started to think, okay, well, here's my last chance before having to spend really a pile of money that I don't want to put into this MacBook. And this is Temtech. Now, Temtech, of course, for the same capacity is far, far cheaper than my other options that I've bought. And this one actually will support both mid and early 2015. So maybe it's a notch thing, okay, at the back where the screw is, because this appears to be a deeper notch. Maybe that's all it is, and it's not really a specific thing, right? Who knows? But this thing says it's going to work on both, but I've got an early 2015 MacBook Pro. I've got an early 2015 MacBook Air, but the Air I don't need a drive for anyways. It's fine with the 256. So, but for my Pro, I want to be able to run Windows. Now, unfortunately, they say on the Temtech one, it does not accept and run Boot Camp. But we're going to try it anyways, because the way I look at life, it's a drive. Since when does it get to dictate what I can and can't put on it? And, well, there may be something to that, so we're going to find out. But you know what? This has 12,402 ratings at an average of 4.5. Now, there can't be that many fake reviews on here, on this one. And I do swear by their RAM. I use it in my gamer laptop. I have had no issues whatsoever. Don't even use heat shields with the stuff. Never have a problem, okay? Never have thermo issues. I've used Temtech RAM in a number of different Macintosh systems as well. Never a problem, okay? So we're going to try one of their drives out next. So I'm waiting for my refund from Amazon, because right now it's the only extra money I got. So we're going to have to wait for the refund to hit, and then we're going to order the Temtech, because I don't want to start having to look at other brands like Shark Speed. Is that going to be another lemon? Indamin, $70. Well, I have no problem with their cases. In fact, their newest Thunderbolt case far surpasses the speeds of my Mac Mini M1. So well over 3,000 read and write. So that's pretty good. And El DeLuca, we've discussed this brand on the channel before, would not load a Mac OS on their SSD over here for 24 bucks. Whether or not their NVMe would work, who knows? But here's the problem. This is M.2 for El DeLuca. They don't support the old Mac on this one. But they do have Indamin, and Indamin does support Mac. So that's fine. King Data, well, that looks a lot like our gamer one, so it's probably just another dogfish. Okay, type of deal. Kind of like this authentic dogfish. You know what I mean? For more money. And it's like, you know, and you got to seriously look at how many people actually bought this thing. Well, if there's only 4 left in stock, there's not even a review period. Nobody bought it. Makes you wonder, you know, why spend $145 when you can cheap out and spend $100 or less? You know what I mean? And sometimes you get lucky, but apparently I'm not a lucky person with the Gamer King here, and somebody else bought the Gamer King M-SATA, which looks like this, and he had a really bad experience. Like, he wrote a freaking novel on his review, and I'm like, holy cow, dude. But then many other people say they had good luck. But then again, how many of those are fake reviews? Because this is a very common practice on Amazon that there are a lot of fake reviews. I've even tested stuff for you guys that turned out were utter garbage, yet other people are like, you know, happy as a little kid at Christmas, and oh, this is so cool, it works so nice, and look at that, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like, BS, you're a liar. Anyways, so don't buy the Gamer King, all right? I won't recommend it. Don't bother with the frustration, okay? I mean, if you want to run boot camp that bad, okay, fine. You're going to be able to run boot camp on this, but for how long? How long are you even going to run the Mac OS on? Maybe try the Shark Speed. Maybe Shark Speed is a better option. Maybe it has more chips in it too. Maybe it's more reliable. At least 259 people bought it as opposed to 95. Okay. This one here that I first bought, which turns out does not fit properly into my early 2015, it probably would fit into a mid 2015 without an issue. Probably. Okay. And it does come with a USB stick with an OS on it. And I think this one was Big Sur. I can't remember exactly. But I am going to say this much, okay, to add into this. Any of these that come with a pre-installed OS on the SSD or they come with a thumb drive, do not use those OSs, okay? Think about this. If somebody wants to hack your system, they're going to put some sort of a code in there or a Trojan. It can be hidden in an installer. Do not trust. You know, like if this drive would have worked for me without any issues, okay, which it didn't even fit, so I didn't bother. But had it worked, I would have just taken this thumb drive and I would have just reformatted it and downloaded and put on my own OS direct from Apple. I don't trust this stuff. Okay, and I don't recommend that you trust it either, although a lot of people did trust the High Sierra on the Gamer King one and said, oh, this is perfect, it just boots up my computer and da-da-da-da. Yeah, okay, let me know if your computer starts to have some performance issues with, let me think, maybe a background Bitcoin loader is sitting in there or something that's stealing your bank accounts or your IDs. You know, this is why you don't trust this sort of thing, okay? It's like, give me a naked drive and we're good to go. And I reformat them anyways. You should always reformat a brand new drive, okay? Always. So make sure it's clean and naked and download the OS that you need. Now, with these drives, one thing they all seem to have in common is that you do require that your computer with its own drive must have had a minimum of High Sierra on it. It's a firmware thing, right? Because every time we get a major update with an OS, we get a new firmware. So if your last OS was Catalina or Mojave or Big Sur, then you'll be fine with any of these drives. Your computer will have its firmware up to date enough that it can recognize the drive, you can format it, you can throw an OS. But if you are below High Sierra, apparently it doesn't work. So yeah, you have to make sure that your computer was first at High Sierra and or above or newer, and then you would be fine. So anyways, we're going to find out if Boot Camp can or can't actually run on the Temtec. If it doesn't, I give up. I don't care. I guess I'll just be going back to using my gamer PC to do my gaming with my buddy. I was kind of hoping to have the MacBook Pro because it is more than adequate to run the games that we network together with. And I figure, you know, it's thinner, it's lighter, and hey, I can get several hours of runtime on that, even playing the same game, where my gamer PC, well, it sucks that battery dry in about an hour. So, yeah, that's, unless I leave it plugged in. So, you know, but my Mac, yeah, I'm plug it and I'm good for like 5-6 hours, no big deal. But anyways, whatever, it is what it is. But I'm not going to spend more money just to do what I need to do, because it starts to get ludicrous. Once you start spending $140 or up, I've seen some pretty, like $145 for an actual Dogfish one, you know, and I've seen these things cost even more money, and I'm like, this is just getting stupid. Like, who's going to spend $249 on a drive? Okay, sure, it's made for my MacBook. Sure, it looks like it's got a lot of junk on there, which is cool. But I'm not spending $250 into a drive for a computer that's literally only worth maybe $100 at this point. And we are talking Canadian bucks, okay? So do the math for the U.S., a smaller number, okay? This is why I kind of a little bit overpaid for my MacBook Pro, but I kind of wanted it, so I paid the extra $100, and it's like, well, whatever. It'll do what I need to do, right? So, but yeah, they can get quite ludicrous, you know. It's just stupid how much some of these drives can cost, and yet they're not a well-known brand like OWC, for example. OWC is really expensive, but it's also really good stuff, kind of like Kingston, you know, and Crucial is good, you know, no problems with Crucial. Temtec, I can only swear by their RAM at this point, which is why I'm going to give the Temtec a chance. And like I said, if it runs Boot Camp, great. If it doesn't, like they say it doesn't, well, that's fine too. At least we'll find out for sure 100%. Because I don't believe everything I frickin' read either. You know, so that's the other thing. But buy this at your own peril. It is up to you entirely. You don't have to take my word from it. This has just been my experience. But I will say this, that with all the thermal problems it did cause, I put the original Apple 128 back in, and my thermals are back to normal on my MacBook. So there was something that this drive was doing other than becoming a massive slowpoke down to less than hard drive speeds. It was thermal clocking my friggin' MacBook out of the planet. So won't be buying this brand ever again. So don't recommend it. Total garbage. But if you must waste your money to try and see, then by all means, at least you can send it back within whatever, 30 days or somebody. Yeah, it says 30 days. Refund or replacement within 30 days. I had it for like, I think 2 or 3 days, and it went back. So yeah, it's like, bye. Anyways, and on that note, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next video.